being raised in Austin instead of Dallas, Texas. And I can tell you now, Austin's becoming more like Dallas, where I grew up. And with it, the cops are going to get more out of control because it's going to be a hellish job. I would not want their job. I mean, you either get out of it in a bad area or you go crazy. And I've known people. I mean, I grew up working every summer for a large animal vet, and then I was kicked out of school for fighting when I was 16. For 12 months, or about 11 months, I worked for a large animal vet. And I go out to these big, giant industrial beef farms where the cows were wild. They were out on grass, and they got vaccinated every few years, but were wild. They weren't like more domesticated cows. Big beef ranches that basically that produce hamburger meat, not steaks. That's the kind of meat. It's really healthy meat, and there'd be 500 cattle in each one of these big pens, sometimes a couple thousand we had to go through in a day. And I'd watch all these cowboys pull up who were the real deal. You never see these people on TV. You got to make a reality TV show, but nobody could watch it. And they would get all hyped up like coyotes or something, chasing and like go out there for like 12 hours. They had to pay them a lot, by the way, or they wouldn't get them to get real cowboys out there. Usually they like were hauling gravel part-time or owned a few dump trucks and were really crazy. I'm not going to tell all the stories. Man, you could make a movie about it. I mean, these guys were the real deal. I wish I could. It's not family-oriented. I can't tell any of it. And, man, they'd sit there and go, "You little wimp, you think you're tough?" And I mean, they were just in there. Electric dehorners, you know, just like real cattle prods, not hot shots, in there with wild cattle. If you didn't keep them intimidated, they overran you immediately. Very dangerous. People got killed all the time. I never saw anybody get killed, but the vet I worked for had almost been killed, and a lot of guys couldn't do it anymore because they'd been hurt. It's a very macho job, and the same thing happens with police. You just get fired up in these bad areas, and and then you become what you think you're fighting. There, I've given you some psychology behind that, why I have an understanding of it. I mean, sometimes those guys were so macho, those cowboys, that when I was first doing it a few summers, they had me working mainly at ranches, and then I got put in working for the actual large animal vet that did the big industrial stuff. And you'd have a full-size steer, and I'd be in there with a bunch of them and jump over a fence when they rammed into the wall or something. They go, "You're going to get killed, you little bleeper, acting like that. You're going to get in there like this." And just run over like some big 6'4" guy and go, like 45 years old, go, "Rah!" Just grab it, full steer, and just go, "Rah!" And by the horns, just flop it over the ground and go, "Rah! Rah! That's what you do, you little wimp. I bet you think you're tough down here fighting in Dallas. I will beat your ass right now." They were like worse than drill sergeants. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I've seen. I guess that's where I come from. That's why I'm just telling you, folks, that's where all this is coming from. And it's going to blow up in a civil war, and it's not a good situation. Phil in Baltimore, thanks for holding so long. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, no problem.
Info from Maryland. You're talking about what you're seeing and what's going on.
Yeah, like, it's just gotten crazy. The night after the original riots, all the stuff over in Brooklyn started happening. Haven't seen anything. And then I've been watching on Twitter and everything, and a bunch of my friends of ours have been talking about it, saying that if the indictments don't go through and if they're acquitted, how Monday's going to seem like nothing compared to what's coming. And that's got me wanting to get my daughter out of Baltimore for a while.
Well, I tell you, you notice it's all these so-called liberal cities where this is going on. I don't know if it's going to be this summer, the next summer. This country's unsustainable with 100 million people on welfare. It's a thug culture in all the groups that's growing, including the cops. This country's going under judgment, brother. That's my view.
Yeah, and it is. It's definitely hard here, like, trying to find a job. I know people who college educated are stuck working at like McDonald's and stuff because it's gotten hard around here.
I know a lot of PhDs that are hard working at H-E-B food stores. God bless you, brother. I'm going to go to break, go back to our reporters who I forgot are there. Apologize. I get wound up. Flashbacks, basically. And then we're going to go to Otto, Chris, Skyler, Rich, and others, Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson, when we return. The latest developments from the celebration of the 6 police being indicted for second-degree manslaughter coming up. Briefly, don't forget, I extended it 3 days, and you get 20% off the biggest sale ever. We've only done that one time before on all of the ProPure G2 systems and all of the accoutrements. 20% off at InfoWarsStore.com, and free shipping and 50% off the Survival Shield. I mean, a whole bunch of the products, a bunch of big specials. They all in. Take advantage of it and support the transmission. InfoWars Life.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
We've all heard the news stories. Another shooting, and they're getting worse. That's why Infidel Body Armor introduces Infidel Fridays. Exclusive 24-hour insider deals to save you money and possibly save your life. This Infidel Friday, get $40 off body armor, a free patch, a free decal, and free shipping. A $75 value. Buy now during Infidel Fridays. Insider pricing for 24 hours only at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Use promo code FRIDAY. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Hi, I'm Alex Jones. When I got on air 20 years ago, I weighed 180 pounds. I lift weights 5 days a week. I could swim 2-3 miles. Then I discovered the New World Order, the globalists, their agenda. I started an Access television show. I was so dedicated to my work and hanging around with radio guys that I began drinking. I began smoking cigars and then even cigarettes. I transformed from looking like a white Bruce Lee to looking like a Jabba the Hutt. So I began a journey 5 years ago to shed the almost 100 pounds. I started taking Super Male Vitality and saw dramatic results in just a few weeks. When I added to the mix the key products developed by Dr. Group for InfoWarsLife.com, the results were incredible. Take the InfoWarsLife.com challenge today at InfoWarsLife.com or give our crew a call. They can answer all your questions or tell you about any of the specials at 888-253-3139.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
CatieArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Katie offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to CatieArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CatieArmor.com. Come and take it.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
Break after this quick segment and come back with your calls right now. Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson join us from Baltimore, Maryland, the scene of the last week's globalist extravaganza and the police stand down. Now 6 police indicted. What are the latest developments, Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson?
Roger that. Joe Biggs here in occupied Baltimore at North and Penn, where right now we have a convoy of Humvees moving into a formation right now. There is a huge military presence. And one of the key things to note here is if we can get a look at some of the magazines on these weapons, they actually have the magazines in place today. The other day we saw them, they had no magazines in the wells whatsoever. Today they actually have them inside. So whether or not they're locked and loaded, I don't know, but they've definitely, the image has changed on how they're presenting themselves out here to the public today.
Well, you had said that you hope that they don't re-escalate like you saw in Ferguson. Talk about that.
Well, the thing with that is, I don't think it's going to happen now based off the fact that they've come down with charges. But here's the key thing, though. This is only a first step in the entire process. Like we said before, they still have to decide whether or not they will indict these officers. And if it comes down to the fact that they go through a whole bunch of hearings and decide not to indict, then it's going to be that vacuum. Then that's when Baltimore will be 10 times worse than this previous Monday. You know, this is a much bigger city than Ferguson. This has a much more dynamic crowd of people, a lot more area to cover. So hopefully something like that doesn't happen. But if it does, I'm sure we'll be back out here covering that again as well.
Other observations, Joe?
Well, so far, everyone we've talked to is extremely happy about what's happened today with the 6 officers being charged. Now, a few people aren't so happy that they didn't all get the highest charge possible, you know, but obviously not everybody was involved as much as another officer would be. But I think at the end of the day, most people know that some people are going to go to jail in this entire ordeal, and that's kind of enough, they feel, for justice, to make a statement for the rest of America that justice can be served and that police brutality is being brought to the forefront of America's minds, and they're actually seeing this stuff finally for what the people of Baltimore have seen their entire lives.
It really is surreal to see the National Guard in full combat gear with loaded magazines deploying, and one of them is about to walk right up. We'll see if he tries to get you to move. He is honking at you. This is really over the top. Let's see if he tries to order you out of the way. Let's see what happens here. Joe, or maybe you can talk to him here in a second. But do you feel like you're back in Iraq or Afghanistan?
Yeah, it's a little weird being on the other end now. You know, I'm used to being up on the up-armored vehicle, and now I'm down here, and the streets actually seen it from that side.
Well, that's good. He didn't act like thug cops do sometimes. He just got out of your way and went to the other side instead of ordering you around. Let's see if... how's the military been acting? I think you said earlier pretty polite.
Yeah, so far they've all been pretty polite. They know that their place here is not number one in priority when it comes to dealing with the crowds and any kind of civil disobedience whatsoever. They know that they're here more if worst case scenario happens, they're backup. So they know their role. They've been playing it pretty well. But, you know, like I said, it's really awkward. People, when they watch TV, they think that the curfew means that just people have to go home. No, what this means is, this isn't like Ferguson where there was a curfew for that area, that specific area in the St. Louis area. All of Baltimore is essentially locked down. Come 8 o'clock, you cannot go to a restaurant at night. Jakari and I tried to go have dinner last night. We had to beg the cook to keep the line open just a little bit longer so we could actually eat something. You can't do anything. 8 o'clock comes, they shut it down. Then 10 o'clock comes, you can't be on the roads. You can't be out. If you are, you're subject to arrest. The helicopters are flying in the air, giving orders. The cops are out. The military is out. This is a complete and total war zone, so to say, and how it's an occupied country.
Well, it makes me think of the Jello Biafra piece that he put out with Ice-T like 25 years ago, where he simulates martial law and the announcement being made. Stay in your homes. Anyone caught outside their sector after dark will be shot. I mean, it's just ridiculous that this continues to happen. And it all came out of a stand down with a couple hundred thugs burning and shooting when they just should have arrested them, and if they resisted, shot them. And then you would have had no more thugs ever anywhere doing this. Instead, they've escalated it now, and now it looks like looting is what made the cops get indicted when it probably would have already happened. It's like the cop that shot the guy in the back. He's already been indicted. Most of the time they get indicted. The reason the cops didn't get indicted with the Brown situation is because the witnesses came out and he charged him and attacked him. Joe, I want to come back to you with some final comments. Amazing. But I want to, during the video feed, during the break, let's just keep the camera going, Joe, and we'll show people what you're witnessing out there for TV viewers. Radio listeners, everybody else, stay with us, Infowars.com/show to see the action.